Thank you for tuning in. You're watching V News Bulletin. Coming up next are our top stories. National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Tong Thị Phóng hosted a reception for Elder Jeffrey Holland, member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. International Physics Conference opened in the South Central Province of Bình Định. Officials and experts from Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam share experience in making decisions on and monitoring state budget. National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Tong Thị Phóng hosted a reception in Hanoi on August 17th for Elder Jeffrey Holland, member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who is on a working visit to Vietnam.
The parliament leader lauded the visit as a move to enhance mutual understanding and friendship between the people of Vietnam and the U.S. Vietnam is a multi-religious country where people from different religious groups live in harmony, she said. The top lawmaker added that the government of Vietnam always creates favorable conditions for all religious groups to practice their religions in accordance with law while encouraging them to engage in social activities and build a better life. The Vietnamese National Assembly is soliciting feedback on the draft law on belief and religion, which follows the spirit of the 2013 Constitution that promotes religious freedom. For his part, the U.S. church official expressed his fond impression on Vietnam and its people. He also pledged to serve as an ambassador in bridging the two countries.
As part of the Pacific Partnership Program 2015, the hospital ship USNS Mercy and high-speed vessel USNS Millinocket of the U.S. Navy has docked at Tiền Sa port in the central city of Da Nang for a friendship visit. During their stay until August 28, participants from the United States and other countries will have professional discussions on several issues such as healthcare and disaster relief activities and civil construction. They will also provide free medical checkups and surgeries for children with deformities. Construction engineers from the U.S. will assist Da Nang City in upgrading 3 health facilities. Captain Christopher Engdow, Mission Commander for Pacific Partnership 2015, stressed U.S. ships' visit to Vietnam took place at a time when the two countries are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the normalization of bilateral relations. He said the U.S. side wants to cooperate with Vietnam partners in an attempt to bolster the two nations' relationship.
This will be the first time that 2 U.S. ships are working together for Pacific Partnership, and Da Nang could not be a better place to support these ships to build cooperation and resiliency with the people of Vietnam.
Pacific Partnership 2015 is an annual largest multilateral humanitarian aid and disaster rescue program conducted in the Indian Ocean and Asia-Pacific region. Officials from Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam are gathering in the central city of Da Nang to share experience in making decisions on and monitoring the state budget towards an effective and transparent public finance.
The conference is part of a cooperation program between the National Assembly Committees for Finance and Budget, state audit agencies, and finance ministries of Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. At the conference, representatives from the 4 countries exchanged their experience in building, examining, and auditing the implementation of budget estimates. They also discussed matters related to improving the quality of budget decision-making and overseeing. Hence, the effective use of investment capital and budget spending will be enhanced. The event, with the participation of international experts, creates room for stakeholders to exchange experience in budget monitoring that meets international standards. The workshop will run until August 18th.
An international physics conference with the topic Cosmology, 50 years after cosmic microwave background discovery, opened in the South Central Province of Bình Định on August 17th. More in the following.
The conference formed part of the 11 Rencontres du Vietnam program, with the primary focus placed on the formation history of the universe, the Big Bang Theory, and other researches. The conference saw the participation of 60 international delegates from 19 countries across the world, including Professor George Smoot, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2006 for his discovery of the black body form and anisotropy of the cosmic microwave background radiation.
Vietnam is one of the major emerging economies these days, and I actually talked to some of the government officials here about what kind of business they're starting, how they can be energy efficient, how can we be planning for the future.
The conference is seen as an opportunity for Vietnamese and international scholars and scientists to meet, exchange, and announce their latest researches in the field of physics. It will last until August 22nd.
The government is planning to reduce its ownership stakes in some state-owned energy companies. The information has been released by the Ministry of Industry and Trade.
Accordingly, the government expects to sell a 49% stake in Bình Sơn Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited, which runs the Dung Quất refinery plant in the central province of Quảng Ngãi. Besides, the government is to reduce its stake in the Petro Vietnam Oil Corporation from 100% to 51%, and in PV Combank from 51% to below 20%. Meanwhile, the Vietnam National Oil and Gas Group will remain state-owned until at least 2030. Along with Petro Vietnam, the government will maintain a decisive role in important subsidiaries, including the Petro Vietnam Gas Corporation and the Vietnam National Oil and Gas Group. Insiders said the restructuring of the oil and gas sector would improve its competitiveness edge. The oil and gas sector will also attract private companies and foreign investors in oil refinery plants and allow them to sell their products as well as establish an overseas gas company.
New statistics show that bilateral trade turnover between Vietnam and Canada has increased remarkably, reaching about $1.45 billion in the first 5 months of 2015.
Vietnam's export turnover to Canada reached $1.2 billion, a 30.5% increase from 2014, while import turnover was more than $235 million, up nearly 81%. Vietnam's key exports to Canada include apparel, footwear, seafood, coffee, and cashew nuts, while importing primarily wheat, spare airplane parts, and nickel. In the first quarter of this year, total trade between the two countries hit nearly $830 million. Vietnam's export turnover to the North American country accounted for more than $679 million, surging nearly 28% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, Vietnam's import value from Canada was over $150 million, a year-on-year increase of nearly 149%.
Following trade agreements Vietnam has signed or planned to sign with foreign partners, import duties on automobiles will be reduced to 0%. As of 2016, the rate will be applied to most of imported completely built units.
Vietnam and the European Union have concluded the negotiation of a free trade agreement. Accordingly, the two sides will eliminate 99% of import duties following a certain itinerary. As a result, the zero tariff of completely built units from EU to Vietnam will be applied after 10 years and 9 years for autos with petrol engine of over 3 liters and diesel engine of over 2.5 liters. Meanwhile, Vietnam will open its auto market for other Southeast Asian countries which are the members of the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement and apply the zero tariff from 2018. From 2016, the Vietnamese auto market will be opened widely for most countries with a strong car industry, such as Germany, the UK, France, Italy, the US, Japan, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Republic of Korea. Auto manufacturers are considering Vietnam as a potential market for export. The country's auto industry posts a yearly growth rate of nearly 60%.
The Vietjet Aviation joint stock company Vietjet Air has reported a 5 trillion Vietnam dong revenue, $256.5 million during the first half of 2015, up 205% from the same period last year. During the reviewed period, the airline transported more than 4 million passengers, marking a record rise of 26% in domestic aviation transportation over the same period last year. Vietjet Air is currently operating on 33 domestic and international routes connecting Vietnam with Thailand, Cambodia, Taiwan, China, Singapore and the Republic of Korea. The airline has continuously expanded its investments in security to ensure safe and convenient travel for passengers. The carrier has been awarded with the International Aviation Transport Association Operational Safety Audit Certificate, indicating the carrier's commitment to service quality in line with strict safety standards set by the association. The northern province of Bắc Giang has raked in around 4.6 trillion Vietnam dong, $2.07 million from lychee this year. The Provincial People's Committee unveiled the figure at a recent conference reviewing lychee production and consumption in 2015.
The province now has more than 31,000 hectares of lychee, with an annual output of 195,000 tons of fruit. Bắc Giang aims to expand the application of international standards such as VietGAP and Global GAP in lychee production, in order to enhance revenues in the coming time. Additionally, the locality has worked with the Ministry of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development on the transfer and application of techniques in growing, harvesting and preserving lychee fruits to enhance productivity and ensure product quality for export. The province has asked the Ministry of Industry and Trade for assistance in marketing lychee in potential foreign markets to boost exports. Publicity campaigns will be conducted to encourage the consumption of the fruit, with focus on promoting brand names of Lục Ngạn and Phú Hòa lychee on foreign markets. The connection between producers and businesses is given priority in a bid to develop an effective distribution network, thus ensuring sustainable markets for the fruit. The province expects to see an increase in domestic consumption from 55% this year to 60% in 2016. This year, more than 12,300 hectares of lychee were cultivated in line with the VietGAP standards, while another 100 hectares met the Global GAP standards, producing some 600 tons for such strict markets as the US, France, the UK, Australia and Japan.
An installation exhibition by painter Nguyễn Thế Sơn featuring the difficult life and narrow living spaces of migrant workers in Vietnamese cities are being introduced to art lovers in Hanoi. The event is being organized with help from the Goethe Institute of Germany.
The exhibition shows the consequences of rapid industrialization in Vietnam. Many laborers move from rural areas to cities to find jobs, and they have to live in very small spaces with difficult conditions for years. The workers' belongings give visitors a deep insight into small corners of their living spaces. According to Sơn, 8 square meters were standard, a minimum living space required for one person during the subsidized economy. But nowadays, many people still have to live in a space of just 8 square meters. Even they have to share that narrow spaces with many others.
I want to bring viewers a different living condition from what they are currently enjoying in the urban areas. I want them to experience the difficult life of a large number of people in the past.
Nguyễn Thế Sơn has been working as a lecturer at the University of Fine Arts Vietnam since 2012 and has presented his photos in many group and solo exhibitions. The installation exhibition will run until August 30th at the Goethe Institute, 5658 Nguyễn Thái Học Street.
And that has concluded our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. For more information, you can log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.